Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about the 8 steps that you need to take for effective discounting when closing a deal. Hi guys, my name's Ed Badawi. I'm here with our Chief Marketing Officer, Chili. Say hi, Chili. Having a nap? Okay. Guys, today I want to break down the 8 steps that we take when closing a deal and looking to offer a discount or offer some sort of special incentive for maximum impact. Now, why is this important? First of all, from time to time, from the powers that be, we do get armed with an incentive. We do get armed with things that we can take to the market, special offers, things that are compelling. It's not always to do with price. A lot of the time it is. It might be extra stuff. It might be additional services. Whatever it is, if you're offering a special offer, check out these steps. Now, it's important to understand this because if you're not careful, offering discounts out of context can cheapen your brand, can cheapen your product or service, but even worse, it can cheapen you as a person. It can make you look really slimy, sleazy. Now, the other thing I want to say before I get into these 8 steps is that we're really talking about the closing portion of a pitch here. So whether you're, let's say, doing a B2C phone deal or doing something over the phone, like selling some sort of subscription, some sort of newsletter, whatever it might be, or let's say you're doing a B2B deal, a longer cycle enterprise level solution, these principles do not change. The final thing I'll say though, before I do get into it, is because we are talking about the close, guys, make sure you check out 7 steps to a perfect cold call intro. Make sure you check out 6 steps to an effective phone pitch flow, because those steps will actually get you down to the point where you can ask a trial closing question. Once you get that yes, then we move into step number 1 of effective discounting, okay? And step number 1 of effective discounting is recap the deliverables. So a lot of people will say, well, okay, you're interested, let me do this deal for you, and here's why it's a good deal. Don't do that. I'm going to use the example of a newsletter in this instance, okay? So let's say you're selling a newsletter. Let's say you're selling a newspaper, for example. I like to recap exactly what you're going to get. So what our customers receive are daily articles. They get access to these kinds of resources. They get access to our weekend edition. You can ask us questions. You get all this support. Guys, whatever it is that you're doing, list out the deliverables, list out the line items. Now, once you've listed out the line items, then what you do is you justify the retail price around that. So normally people are happy to pay $1,000 a year for this, for that level of value, and everything that you're getting, whatever it is, you really want to go in and justify the original price point. So this actually sets a high anchor for you, okay? And it's an honest one. You're coming out there and you're being very, very clear about what most people are happy to pay for those deliverables. You're justifying the retail price. You're justifying how long you've been charging this much for. You're creating a story around the pricing. This is why we charge this much. This is why people are happy to pay this much. And then, before you go into the discount, recap the practical benefits of that. And they're happy to pay that much because now they're saving time. Now they're getting more insight. It's going straight to their desktop. Whatever the practical benefits are, whatever the benefits are to the problem that you're solving, recap the benefits. Recap your whole purpose for existing in the first place, okay? Now, once you have gone through that process of justifying retail, recapping the benefits, in theory, you should have them right there and then. In theory, they're like, okay, I'm considering it, makes a good point. You've told me a story around the pricing. But once you've done that, this is where the offer comes in. If you've been listening along the way to what the prospect is sharing with you, if you've followed the flow of the pitch, if you've left openings and space for back and forth dialogue, then really what you should be looking to do at this point of time, if possible, is tie their situation or tie their position and the information that you've collated along the way from listening to the unique offer, right? So let's say that they're going on holiday for a month, but the unique offer is, well, you get 3 months for free. That's a tongue twister. But tie it into that. Let's say that straight from the get-go, they told you that price was an issue and you're offering some sort of 30% discount. Come back in and make that unique offer relevant to them. So introduce the unique offer, try to make it relevant, try to tell the story behind the unique offer. But this really brings me to my next point, which is, what is the motivation behind this unique offer, right? Now, tying the unique offer into their scenario is one thing, but to be very honest about the unique offer as a business, to be very frank about what you're trying to achieve as a business by creating this unique offer, I was always very frank about the fact that I want to give you this offer and I'm going to create this unique offer for you because I want to meet you where you are and I want to get you on board. But the truth of the matter is this: if I can get you on board with this, if I can get you to realize these benefits, I'm going to have your business at a retail price for as long as you're in the market. I want to charge you retail. I want to get there. However, I'm never going to get there unless I can get you on board first, until you experience these actual benefits. So for that reason, I'm going to offer you this much more time, or I'm going to offer you this much more access, or I'm going to reduce the price by this much. Really break down why you are offering the unique deal. Of course, as I said previously, try to tie it into maybe where they're at personally, but be frank as a business as, I want your business long term. I want to show you what we're all about. I do want to keep you on the books. That's actually how we make our money, but I'm never going to do that if I can't get you over the line. That's my motive. That level of transparency, guys, it's just honest. It's the cold hard truth. And although sometimes people don't always like hearing the cold hard truth, they always respect it. People always respect the cold hard truth, especially when you're trying to do a deal, especially when you're trying to get down to business. Be honest, okay? And again, if you haven't seen our videos on values and why these values are so important, go and check it out. The link will be somewhere over here. But guys, speaking of honesty, this brings me to my next point. Be totally forthcoming about the risks. I know you've probably heard me say this before. I know you're probably sick of it. But again, if you can be forthcoming about the risks, and again, check out the video on objections if you haven't seen it. But if you can totally be honest about the risk, if you can be totally frank about what could go wrong, where they could make mistakes, where your product could fall short, even let's say you're selling a pair of sneakers and what kind of guarantees do I have with those sneakers if, the sole falls out the bottom of them, right? If you can come in and talk about that and then actually then talk about how you offset those risks with your guarantees, now you're in control of the narrative. Now you're not handling objections. And if you're not handling objections when you're getting down to business, then you can move on to the next step, which is recapping the benefits again, okay? Because I know you've already done this once. I totally get it. I totally understand. Maybe you've done it as well previously in other parts of your pitch. But by taking them into that negative place, recapping the risks, letting them know how you offset that risks, you do need to bring them back up, okay? You do need to bring them back up into a more positive place. That's part of your job. But again, the reason that we are offering this and the reason that we're doing this and the reason that we want you to sign on is I want you to experience that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever those benefits are, and you should have those benefits totally listed out, okay? Well before going into any of these pitches. Now, this is really, really important. It's the 8th and final step of this. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And this is a really big mistake that I see people make, is they don't break down the next steps, okay? Now, what a lot of people will do, I'll say, this is what it usually costs. This is what I want to do for you. You're saving X amount of dollars. What do you say, mate? Can we give that a go? Don't do that, okay? What you want to do is break down what is going to happen next, what you need from them and what they're going to get from you, or vice versa, depending how your product, service, or offering looks, right? For example, if I'm selling a newsletter, okay, very basic process. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to send you an email. That email is going to have your username and it's going to have your password. I'm going to send you another email and that email is going to have your invoice on it. And it's going to show the discount, or it's going to show the extra time, or it's going to show whatever that unique offer is. It's going to be reflected in that invoice. So you've got it on hand as a reference point for you. But what I need from you is this. I've got your first name as this. I've got your last name as that. Is that correct? Look, I just need your address for invoicing purposes. Da 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 da. Is that your address? Wonderful, fantastic. Let me write it out. Step them through the next steps. Now, some of you might call this an assumptive sale or assuming the sale. Sure, you can call it that if you want, but whatever you do, don't stop at the discount. Don't stop at the price. Don't stop at the offer. Talk about the next steps. If it's appropriate to do so, let them know that, hey, I'm going to get you that contract over with ABCD. Are we okay to do that? Are you comfortable with that? Do you want to take advantage of that offer? If it's a phone sale, all we need to do is put that on a MasterCard, Visa, or Amex. Can we lock that in? Right? Keep moving forward with the sale. Don't stop talking. Keep moving it forward. Assume the sale. Break down the next steps. So guys, whatever you do, never stop on price. Keep the deal moving forward. Guys, if you like this approach, give us a like, give us a subscription, leave us a comment. If you don't like this approach, if you've got a better approach, I'd love to hear about it in the chat. We've got a small channel, but we've been getting some great engagement. Regardless, we appreciate you watching this video. We appreciate you making it this far. As always, our goal here at Sales Inc. is to create higher standards of selling, more transparent levels of selling, and to do things in a way that allows us to feel good about what we're doing, allows the prospect to feel good about the experience that they're having, so that at the end of the day, we're all experiencing mutual success and making the world a slightly better place wherever we can. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Say bye, Chili. Oh, I hope you didn't fall asleep like Chili did.